Hey guys, welcome back to Dark Draft Security. If you don't know me already, my name is Joe Margie. I've been referred to as the DevOps King. In some circles, I'm described as the second coming of DevOps, DevSecOps. I've been referred to as Meta.rb El Coyote, which some Latin American scholars have been quoted as saying translates relatively loosely in English to the Wile E. Coyote. Some circles I'm referred to as Stingray. So I go by a lot of names, AOL Messenger, you can find me there. Today I want to share with you guys how to set up a Today I'm going to share with you guys how to set up the Vagrant environment for RHCSA. I have a previous video on setting an environment up for the exam where I used 2 Fedora virtual machines, but you live and you learn, and I'll tell you right now that using the Vagrant environment from rdbreak's GitHub is definitely the way to go. He does a great job, and I will link his GitHub repo in the description. Also, I will be incorporating a fix that I found on GitHub to allow Vagrant to work with VirtualBox 6.1, which you're going to need if you're running a Linux distribution that is newer than somewhere around 2018. So without further ado, let's get into it. Thanks. Hey, what up guys? Big up for making it this far after that sick intro. I know you thought it was dope. Let's get into it. So step 1, get Ubuntu. This tutorial is aimed at Ubuntu users or Debian users. You can see from this neofetch output, I'm running Ubuntu 20.4 LTS. So step 2 is going to be to go out and get VirtualBox. So you can go ahead and run this command, sudo apt-get install VirtualBox. So you run sudo apt-get install VirtualBox. Okay, now you have VirtualBox. So we'll run it, VirtualBox, and bam, the window pops up, Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager. So go into About, Help, About VirtualBox. You can see that we have VirtualBox 6.1. If you're running anything less than VirtualBox 6.1, good news for you, your life's going to be a lot easier. It's just going to be plug and play. But if you have a newer operating system that is newer than 2018, this is probably what you're going to be working with, VirtualBox 6.1 out of the box. So let's continue with the list that I made. So we've got VirtualBox. Step 3, go to the web and download the VirtualBox extension pack. Okay, let me grab that, and probably through the magic of editing, it'll just come up. All right, so the page is up. It's virtualbox.org/wiki/downloads, and that link will be in the description. So scroll down on this web page and find VirtualBox version number Oracle VM VirtualBox extension pack. Click on the link, and then you get this file, file extension .vbox-extent pack. So you're going to go ahead and save this to a directory of your choosing. I've already done that. Close that out. So we got the VirtualBox Manager up. We go to Preferences, Extensions, Add New Extension, and go ahead and select Oracle VM VirtualBox extension pack version number, the file that we just got. So hit open. I've already done it, so I won't do it in real life, but you can see it's there. And then click OK. If you're doing it for the first time, you'll go through a little wizard. I'll assume that you know how to use a wizard, so I won't go into that. Okay, that's step 3. So let's go back to the checklist. Once again, step 4. Sudo apt-get install Vagrant. So this is where we're going to be installing Vagrant. So for the sake of demonstration, I'll do it. Install Vagrant. Password. All right. So there you have it. You can see that Vagrant is already the newest version. and nothing has changed for me because I already have it installed. Okay, now let's go to the next step. So git clone the repo. So the repo is rdbreak / RHCSA 8env.git, and that is in the description. So we'll navigate over to that repository, go up here and click code. Alright, so if you got SSH keys set up like a true dev king, but if you're not a DevOps king, that's alright. We got your HTTPS option. If you're more of a DevOps jester, you're maybe like a court hand, and you're working your way up to king, no worries, dog. You got HTTPS. So go ahead and copy that, right, and git clone, and then paste that URL in there. And then run that, and it'll clone the repository. Do a quick ls, cd into the repository. Okay, bam, we got it. So, alright, back to the checklist. Back to the checklist. We have done step 5, let's do step 6. So cd into the repo, Vagrant up as root. Alright, back to the checklist. So you can see that I've added an extra step, and this is going to be the workaround that will allow Vagrant to work with VirtualBox 6.1. If you want to look through this for yourself, I'll leave a link to the URL in the description, but it is a GitHub issue that says, the current release of Vagrant it doesn't support the current release of VirtualBox. So in order to work around that, Paul Neumann, big ups Paul Neumann, glory to the DevOps king himself, has released this workaround. Alright guys, long story short, the GitHub issue, the comment Paul Neumann says, the workaround requires 3 changes. Go ahead and scroll down to the description of this video to find the full file path name of the files that you need to edit. So this one is plugin.rb. We're going to go ahead and copy that line, and then in plugin.rb scroll down to module driver, that same code snippet, and then add that line. So you can see, if you're looking at my screen, I've already done that, and hit save. Okay, and that's the first step. So scrolling down, going to the second step. So the second step says, open this file, it's long file path name, meta.rb. So I've got it open. So we're in meta.rb, and there's a section of code that refers to driver map. So we go find that driver map, okay? And you can see that it almost looks identical. Well, it is identical, but if you're doing this for the first time, you're not going to have this 6.1 action over here. So grab that, copy, and paste it right underneath 6.0. Okay, and then save it. Alrighty, and that's the second change. So for the third change, you need to create a new file called version_6_1.rb in the respective directory listed in the ticket. So I've done that. So we have that file here, and this at first is going to be an empty file because you just made it. But if you keep reading the ticket, he says, in this new file, paste the content from here. So click this link, open a new tab, and then take this code, it's a Ruby code, copy it, and then paste it in here. I've already done it, so I won't do it again, but just go ahead and do that and save, and then the workaround is complete. So big up again to whoever is on this thread, super helpful. I really appreciate it. So we'll close that out, and once you have done that, you will go ahead and be ready to move on to the next step. And the next step is to cd into the repo and run Vagrant up as root. So Vagrant up will kick off the Vagrant process, which will provision your entire environment, which is 2 Red Hat servers, I believe. So I've already done that, and I'll show you the output from that. It's a lot of output. We're scrolling up, we're scrolling up, we're scrolling up, we're scrolling up. Alright, so you can see that I'm in the repo, okay, and then I've run sudo vagrant up, which runs vagrant up as root, okay. And so you get all this code, and it's pretty verbose, and then, so it provisions everything, and then kicks off the playbook, and then you can see that this is the output from the playbook, and the playbook is altering the Red Hat configs, the VM configs, to be similar to the environment that you're going to see on the test. So, you know, things are going to be changed and ready for you to work your RHCSA magic on them. So don't worry about the red text. He talks about that. He says that's normal, known issues. Continuing, and then you can see at the end it finishes, the Ansible playbook finishes with play recap, and 0 failed on all 3 tasks in the playbook. 0 machines failed on all the tasks in the playbook. Okay, so that's about it for this video. If you guys thought I did a good job explaining this Vagrant workaround for getting Vagrant to work with VirtualBox version 6.1 and getting your RHCSA environment set up from rdbreak, go ahead and leave me a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please be a DevOps. Climb the DevOps ladder with me. I want to be there for you. I want to promote you. I'm a DevOps king right now, but there's like plenty of other ranks above king. If you guys are just newbies, that's all right. You know, you can be like a DevOps jester. There are many paths, you know, to get to climb the DevOps ladder. But yeah, if you have if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I will try and do my best to answer your questions. So thanks, guys. This whole thing took me a while to figure out, and I'm glad that I could distill it for you guys and share with you, so that way, you know, if you happen to find it, then you don't have to go and figure it out yourself. So I'm glad I could maybe speed things up for you. So thanks, guys. Peace.